Mauricio Pochettino comes out all guns blazing with positive enthusiasm about the Bournemouth versus Chelsea game, but he also lays down a marker. He clearly stipulates, no one's going to make decisions for me. I don't know whether that's a shot at the board, I don't know whether that's a shot at the media, but he is actively talking about an individual player that has been rumoured to be left out the squad altogether, and he basically told everyone, I'm the daddy of this team and I make the decisions. In my house, I am the boss. I tell you, take your shoes off the carpet, you take your shoes off before you walk into my house. And for me, I love to hear it. We also get an update on Reece James, Armando Broja, Badiashile, and Romeo Lavia about what really happened in the background. We get Poch's perspective on the season so far, and I'm not going to lie to you. I actually agree with Poch on 99% of the things he said in this podcast or press conference. We are going to break it down into little details, and then we're going to talk about Bournemouth versus Chelsea for a quick preview. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Kavkas View, bratochi. Today's video is an insightful one. It's one that is going to be quick, short, concise, and give you the full update of the press conference that Mauricio Pochettino did. But before we get started, I need you lot to do me a massive favor. Can you hit the like button? Because 1,000 likes goes a long way in pushing the content to other people to see. And number 2, subscribe. Honestly, you guys have made it this far. You're clearly enjoying the content. You're liking my energy. You are appreciating what you're seeing on your screens. Because trust me, these days, we are all like jellyfish, right? We literally have the attention span of a jellyfish and we just get bored, click. So clearly you made it this far and are enjoying the content. So you're gonna come back for more. So hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We're aiming for 31,000 as quick as possible. Now let's move on. I think the most important part of this press conference was Pochettino basically telling the world, I'm the daddy of this team. I'm the boss, I'm the king, I'm the emperor, I'm the president, I'm everything for this team. I make the decisions. And they asked him about Trevor Chalobah, and they said, look, is Trevor Chalobah part of your plans? Is he going to be excluded from the squad? Well, he basically said, Trevor Chalobah is going to be training with us. I think he's a good player. He's part of my plans, and he's going to be playing when he's fit, if he trains well enough and I deem him ready. For me, perfect answer. I don't believe Chelsea should be excluding players like Trevor Chalobah out of training. Reason being is Trevor Chalobah is a Cobham graduate. Trevor Chalobah was given a 7-year deal. Trevor Chalobah gave Chelsea his trust to sign a 7-year deal to highlight, I have a future here evidently. You cannot give people 7-year contracts and in 6 months time try to flip them and exile them out of the squad. And more importantly, Pochettino is laying down a marker. He is telling everybody these decisions are going to be made by me, who is on the pitch. These decisions, who trains in my training sessions, are going to be made by me, Mauricio Pochettino, Mr. Pochettino, or Mauricio if you know me on a first name basis. And for me, I absolutely love that. It shows intensity, it shows integrity, and more importantly, it shows the alpha male in him. It shows that he's an absolute boss. You are not going to boss him around. You might sell players that he wants to keep. Okay, that's not his remit. He doesn't sell and buy players. His remit is to coach and to pick the team. And I respect that he's putting his foot. Speaking of injuries, and this is a little bit worrying. We need to talk about this and we need to break this down. Broja is not ready to go. We heard the Albanian FA literally speak about this and said he should be on the bench going forward and he should be available for the next internationals. Obviously, they want him to be. Pochettino said, no, I have not heard these comments. I don't know what you're talking about. But I'm going to tell you now, he's not going to be on the bench. I don't know whether this is because Pochettino is overly keen on developing these lot on a certain fitness level so that when they come in, they hit the ground running. Everything I've ever known from football is the best way to get somebody fit is by getting them to play in competitive games. The more they play, the fitter they get, the sharper they become. But at the same time, we need to make sure, and I think this is integral, and people do not understand this well enough, that people do not re-injure themselves because they're pushed in too fast. Badiashile is another one. He is not ready and he will not be on the bench. That's fine. Look, we already have Disasi, Thiago Silva and Kola. 3 centre-backs for 2 positions is more than enough. We are not desperate for Badiashile to come back. When he does come back, I think he can make a good impact to the point where I think he's our best centre-half. That's just my personal opinion. Don't kill me for that. More importantly, there are 2 players that are not going to be recovering anytime soon. And based on his body language and based on the way he spoke, Reece James is nowhere near. He said, Reece James, first international break. the next international break. Guys, what happened to Reece James is only going to be out for a few games. Reece James is only going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. And for me, this is a problem. And the reason I'm going to say this is a problem is because Reece James is a player that when he's fit, is the best right back in the world. When he's ready to go, there is nobody I would trade him for in that position. Problem is he's never fit. The lucky aspect and lucky ritual we have this time around is we have Malo Gusto, who is a very good replacement. He's somebody that is reliable, he's physically strong, and he offers enough defensive solidity, but also offensive aggression. I like that, so I'm not going to moan. But for a lot of people that are saying Reece James is not injury prone, he is. The evidence is right there. The problem is, and why I will always say we can't sell him, because of the quality. When you get his injury problems right, the quality you get out of him is unbelievable. He's world class. He's one of the few world class players that we have. We need to find a way to stop him from getting injured. We need to just do it. That's the simple aspect of it. And finally with Lavia. Lavia came back. He was injured. He was ready to play. Pochettino basically said that he would have been in contention. He was ready to contribute. And then there was an injury. It happens. Sometimes contact injuries happen. And we are still waiting for an assessment on his swelling to see whether we can set a time frame. At this moment in time, I think it's very interesting that there is no time frame. Chelsea aren't going to rush this kid. We are not that desperate in that position. I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. We got Ogochukwu. He is more than capable to play in that 6 and contribute for Chelsea Football Club. People don't want him to contribute because people are stuck up and people are literally looking through EPL analysis. Did he play in the EPL? No, he hasn't. He's not good enough. The guy's played more minutes at first team level than Romeo Lavia. He has played European competitions, Conference League and Europa League. He has also played in Ligue 1 in 49 games if I'm not mistaken. He's played over 120 minutes more football than Romeo Lavia. So if Lavia is ready, why can't Ogochukwu be? Like, let's think about it in a concise and rational manner. I'm not saying he's better than Lavia. I'm not saying Lavia is better than Ogochukwu. I haven't seen enough of him. But I do know he is just as ready, purely based on the fact that if you think one with 2,700 minutes of football is ready, then the other with 2,900 minutes of good talent is also ready. Just because he costs 27 million euros does not mean he's a crap player. Moises Caicedo cost 4 million at one point in time. Enzo Fernandez cost 15 million euros at one point in time. And guess what? They are both worth over 100 million euros at this moment in time. So things can change quickly. We need to be patient and we need to be open. Speaking about Enzo and Caicedo, both players have returned from international duty. Both players are in fit and ready to go based on what Pochettino said. There were nothing alarming. The reason I'm talking about them is because they're traveling from a different time difference, and it's considerable amount of time difference. It's like 3-4 hours, if I'm not mistaken, to Ecuador and Argentina. So realistically speaking, he said Enzo's buzzing after his goal for Bolivia. He's absolutely el fuego. He's ready to go and he's keen. Caicedo arrived a little bit later, but he's also going to be assessed, but the likelihood is he's going to play. Guys, the game's on Sunday. It's basically a must-win. We are going to be playing those two. I don't care what anyone says. If they're fit, they're going to play. And as far as we know, Pochettino knows they're both fit. They're going to be playing. What I found very interesting and what was very eye-opening is that Pochettino views football in the same way as I do. I don't try to be influenced by results, right? And purely based on the fact that results come and go, and sometimes results are deceiving. Results can give you a picture of we won 3 in a row, but how did you play in those 3 in a row? Was it sustainable? Is it wins that you're going to actively repeat if the sample size is 30 instead of 3? And this is where Pochettino and I agree. After a post-match, guys, sometimes you guys come and you get very, Alex, how are you getting so angry? I'm angry because we lost. I'm hot. You need to understand what a post-match reaction is. A post-match reaction is me straight after the final whistle. I switch on that camera, I sit down and I break the game down with all my emotions in me. If you don't enjoy it, then don't watch. I mean that in the most respectful way. Come back and watch another video. Some of the other videos where I'm more calm, I'm more calculated. But when we win, I'm over the top, I'm excited. So sometimes I'm not the most rational person after a game. That's my personal perspective. And I always hold my hands up. And I say that openly. It's a post-match reaction. What Poch said here and I really like. He said he's been very positive about our performances, as have I been. He also said that we need to look that we deserve to win 5 games. And I said the same thing. When you break down the 5 games based on performances, based on chances, based on the metrics, we were far superior in 4 of those games. Like literally, if Enzo scores the penalty and it's 2-1, we deflate West Ham. It's a completely different game, and we will hopefully pick them off in the second half where we can play on a counter-attack. We make a quick mistake and goals change games. The Nottingham Forest game, we were in total dominance. The reason we're not scoring these chances is because of Poch's selection. But the chances are there, the performances are good. We just need more clinical players in the final third. One way of altering that, Poch, make the changes of putting on attackers instead of more defenders. And once we see that and make those changes, I think results are going to come. Because the performances are there and Poch is not being stupid in my opinion. I think Poch is being very realistic. Guys, but if it's 20 games in and results haven't turned, but the performances are still there, then there's a problem. But 5 games in, you can't be reactionary. You look for the wins. You look for the little. What I also really liked from Pochettino was his very open and transparent way of looking at life. Look, he was like, no point in looking back. Because they're trying to bring up results from last year. They're trying to micro-analyze and you're trying to catch him off. There's no point in looking back. And every game is a must-win game. You're a Chelsea manager, every game is a must-win game. There's no such thing as we'll take a draw. And I love that. So for me, the Bournemouth game is a must-win game. We are going to struggle. Yes, we are going to struggle because we are never good with Bournemouth away. This is going to be a battle. This is not going to be a football match. This is not going to be tiki-taka, jinkity-majinky, beautiful styles of play. No, we need to learn to scrap. We will have to grind out. We will have to turn up to their stadium, the stadium with 15,000 people, half the size of the Kavkas View. Shout out to the Kavkas View at this moment in time. We're doing very well. The reality is we need to turn up and we need to be ready for a fight. Because they're going to have Solanke, who's going to want to cause a problem. They're going to have 2 midfielders in Billing and the other guy in the midfield. They're just ready to be an absolute nuisance. And they're a team that will want to play on the front foot and aggressive. This new manager is very keen to allow his wingers and his forwards to express themselves, but they are very quick at punching the ball forward to them. It's important that our defenders are switched on, but at the same time, our strikers are clinical. This game could be very comfortable or very uncomfortable very quickly. We don't take our chances. The longer the game goes on, the more the nerves start kicking in, the more belief they're going to get. If we switch our brains on, start finishing chances, we're going to be, because then we will absolutely dismantle that team, because quality-wise, we have got the far superior team. That's just my personal opinion. I want to hear yours. That was the preview of Bournemouth versus Chelsea. I think Chelsea will win. I really do. And this was also the review of the press conference from Mauricio Pochettino, Bournemouth versus Chelsea. So let me know your thoughts. Hit me up. And yeah, peace out. I'm out. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Bye.